to another episode of Pulling the Race Card. Today is Saturday, May 14th, 2022. I decided that we've decided we want to pull a card.
We decided we're going to pull this card.
We're going to pull this
And
card.
this is a heavy card that we usually, we usually stay away from it. But today,
we're going to pull it. So this statement says, white people's biggest fear is that black people will dominate society. I'll read it again. White people's biggest fear is that black people will dominate society. And I feel like that this is why we're here today with what's happened in Buffalo, New York. If you haven't already heard, there's been a mass shooting at a local grocery store on the east side of Buffalo. And it's weird because Kazai and I were going home. We were actually riding on the 33, and cop cars were being dispatched, and they were on the 33, and I'm 33,
floating down to 33.
floating on. I'm like, what's going on? So we're pulling over, trying to allow them to get by. And it was because of this mass shooting. We didn't find out until maybe 10, 15 minutes later when we started getting texts talking about stay clear of this particular area, that there was a mass
Active shooter.
An active shooter, thank you. So someone who remains anonymous at this point in time, who did not live in the city of Buffalo, who came in from, a couple hours away, decided to target this particular Jefferson Street Tops Friendly Market. And if you know anything about Buffalo, you know that Buffalo does not have a lot of grocery stores in poor neighborhoods. The only grocery store that we actually do have in the east side of Buffalo is the Jefferson Street Tops. And so for someone to come into Buffalo and to target that particular Tops, we do know that this was racially motivated. They've said it, that this is a hate crime, but this was well orchestrated, and it wasn't just someone from outside.
It couldn't have been. What did you do? Google the black tops in Buffalo. The black people's tops in Buffalo.
That doesn't
Google.
even come up because we tried it. It doesn't even come up.
How did you know to go there? How did you know to go there?
So someone in Buffalo is
or surrounding
in
areas
connection
would have to be
to go to a grocery store, and that. So what the news or the media is saying at this point in time, so there's 13 wounded, 10 are dead. Majority of them are workers. If you've ever known anything about people working in the grocery store, it's predominantly usually young kids. So you got young kids. Security guard, I assumed it was a security guard.
a police officer.
A retired police officer killed senselessly because someone decides that they want to target a predominantly African American grocery store because they felt the need to
Get rid of some black people.
Population control because of fear of losing control. And that's the reason why I pulled this card. They feel like black people are going to dominate society. That's the reason why the population control, that's been the reason why the sterilizations, that's been the reason why, not allowing black and brown immigrants to even come to the country, when they are, dealing with issues in their own country. That's the reason why. Because they're scared that black and brown people, and I do not like to sound like I'm militant, but
open
that's the only
your
thing,
eyes.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
That's the only thing that could possibly
So
make
you allow
sense.
3.1 million Ukrainian immigrants, refugees to come into this country, but you won't even allow, what did I say? It was some ridiculous number last week. It was 380 since 2017 they've allowed to come into the country, of Haitian immigrants to seek asylum. Why do you think that is?
Where?
Do you think that Ukrainian people they got it worse than Haitians or the Mexicans. No.
And who gets to decide
no.
that? Who gets to decide that?
Yeah, it makes you know that whose life is more important, you know. And I hate to sound like this, but wake up, people. Like, do you understand that racism is really out there and it's really existing?
It's
like,
real.
people are living in these bubbles. Like, this stuff is not happening. Just a mere fact that there's one grocery store in the east side of Buffalo, and that's the only place that Black and brown people who don't have cars can go to. Not to mention that the prices are a little bit higher. I'm not gonna say nothing about that. But it's disturbing on so many levels. It's disturbing that someone would come in and they think that they're in control. They have the audacity to be in control of population, sterilization, or extermination. You know, it's why is that? Why is that? Is anybody more
Racism
important?
doesn't exist.
I don't know. Is anyone more important? Is it the lighter the skin, the more important you are? I mean, come on. I'm just tired. I'm tired. We're asking for help. You know, we just want to be treated equal. We don't want handouts like people seem to think in their heads. You know what? On the 1st of the month, go to Wegmans. Go to Wegmans and look at the carts. Now y'all want to try to be like it's
Put that
all
on
black
people.
It's always on black folks and they welfare.
Y'all got it twisted.
Go to Wegmans. Go to Tops. Go to Piggly Wiggly. Go
And
to
see
the
who's
white.
really getting
Go
the
to the
checks.
suburbs.
And see who's really getting those checks.
Go to the Walmarts that aren't in the hood. Go to the Walmarts that are in the suburbs.
Just to see. If you don't believe me, go make it happen. The 1st is coming up. Few days.
Nobody wants handouts. We want to be treated equal. We just want an opportunity.
Or just leave us alone. There's a thought.
Allow us
Leave
to
us
be
alone.
able to create, and don't try to burn this stuff down. Don't try to mitigate or to block when we're trying to run a business. Don't do that. Allow us to be able to prosper on our own, because you've seen what we've been able to do.
That's what the problem is.
You've seen what we've been able to do.
So we'll
Nobody's
stop it.
coming back. Nobody is going to come back, and nobody's trying to put you in slavery. That's not. We're past that part. We're very forgiving people for the most part. We're past that part. We just want to be held to the same standards. We want to be created equal and to live a lifestyle where we can live, go where we want to go.
Treated equal, not created equal.
You're right. God
Yeah.
created us equal. But whether or not we're treated equal is a whole nother story. I'm done. I'm done with this soapbox. Like, I really honestly did not want to go here because this makes me angry, but we're still here in 2022 and people say, oh, racism has gotten better. Nobody's hanging from trees. Well, I don't know, because a knee on the neck is still lynching to me. Being gunned down in the street is still being
a
lynching.
lynching.
It's not a tree.
When you
It's
going after
changed
somebody
forms.
merely because of their color of their skin, and you're
You shooting people because
taking
they're
their lives
black.
out.
Because
Like,
they got some brown skin. You haven't even talked
it's
to
a
them.
lynching.
You haven't even talked to them, so you don't know what they got going on. They probably got children at home. They got a family. They're working. These people were working. It's not like, oh, let's exterminate the worst of the worst. These folks was working, trying to make a living, trying to survive, and yet that's been taken from them. So I'm that's where I am. I don't know. I'm in my feelings, and I can be because I'm a brown person. That's why. Because I have a child, and I want to see better. I want to see better. We got to do better, people. Stop turning a deaf eye. Is it a deaf eye?
Deaf ear,
A deaf ear.
blind
A
eye.
blind eye to all of these things that's going on. Just wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time.